this video we'll be looking at 1.6 Part 2, Writing and Solving Proportions. So our central question will be, how do I write and solve proportions? Now, what we'll do is we'll set up our proportion and then we'll solve it. So the way this works is when we're setting up the words, we need the words to match across the equal sign. So what I mean by that is, if I have tickets to dollars on one side of my equal sign, when I write my equal sign, for this to be equivalent, for this equal sign to work, I have to have the same units in the same place on the other side. So the key is going to be for these units to match up. So what we want is for our units to be in the same location on both sides of equal sign. So if tickets is in the top on the left hand side of the equal sign, tickets has to be in the top on the right hand side. Then we'll fill in our variable, our unknown, and our numbers, and then it's the cross multiply and divide. So let's look at this. A map has a scale of 1 inch to 8 miles. So we can build our fraction right there. We can say 1 inch is to 8 miles. And what a scale is it's how you can look at a map and it's much smaller than the real world. And that scale is what shrinks it down and makes it so all the distances are equivalent by the scale. So when you're looking at a map, that distance from here to Sacramento and from Sacramento to San Francisco, those distances kind of like match up with the real world distances. So a map has a scale of 1 inch to 8 miles. If two towns are 3 inches apart on the map, how many miles apart are the two towns? So the next part gives me, so this is where I write my equal sign, and the next part tells me that I have 3 inches. So where am I going to, what units need to go in the numerator? Well, on this one, since we are using an equal sign right here, we need our units to match up. So we'll put the inches on the equal sign. And then I'll put my miles in the denominator. Now let's fill in what we know. If the two towns are 3 inches apart, so where's the 3 going to go? 3 will go next to the inches. How many miles? Well, if we don't know how many miles, that's when we use our variable. So now what we'll do is we will cross multiply 1 times x. That'll be 1x is equal to, and then we'll cross multiply again 8 times 3, and we'll get 24. Now we divide. We'll divide both sides by 1. And we get x equals 24 divided by 1 is 24. And our units that was next to our x is miles, so we'll bring those units over, 24 miles. So the key to these is being able to make sure those units are the same across the equal sign. So when I look on both sides, the left and the right hand side of the equal sign, do I have the same units in the numerator and do I have the same units in the denominator? We set up our units and then we can fill in the numbers. So let's try number 2. If you can buy 4 theater tickets for $50, how much would 10 tickets cost? So we know we're going to have two fractions that are equivalent. Let's set up our units. Well, we have tickets to dollars. So we can say tickets to dollars. And I need the same units on the other side. Tickets to dollars. Now let's fill in our values. So we have 4 tickets for $50. So we can say 4 tickets for $50. How much would 10 tickets cost? So I have 10 tickets, and I don't know how much it costs, so that's where we use the x. Now we can cross multiply. 4 times x is 4x equals, and then I'll do 50 times 10, and that's 500. Now we divide. We'll divide both of them by 4. The 4's cancel, and we have x is equal to $125. Okay, let's do one more together. Again, the idea is setting up these fractions where we have two fractions that are equal, and if they are equal, their units need to be in the same place. So you can swim 4 laps in 2.4 minutes. The next day you swim 16 laps. How long did it take you to swim the 16 laps at the same rate? So what units should we put in the top and bottom? Well, we'll put laps on top and minutes on bottom. So since I have this equal sign, I need to have the same units on top and bottom. So I have laps on top, then I'll have minutes on bottom. Now let's fill in our values, our numbers. So 4 laps in 2.4 minutes. 4 laps in 2.4 minutes. The next day you swim 16 laps. So I have 16 laps, and I don't know how long that took me, so that's where my x goes. So we'll cross multiply. 4 times x is 4x, and that will be equal to 16 times 2.4. So we'll do 16 times 2.4, which is equal to 38.4. And now I am simply solving for x, which is where we divide. So we'll divide by our coefficient, draw a line, divide by 4. The 4's cancel, and we get x equals 38.4 divided by 4 is equal to 9.6. And x is next to minutes, so we will say 9.6 minutes. So that's how we can set them up. The important part is about the setup. And the idea behind the setup is that we need the units to match. The units, when we have that equal sign, they're no longer diagonal. We need them to match. If I have tickets in the numerator, I need tickets in the numerator, because that's what makes this equal. Having the same units in the same place is what makes these two fractions equal. So thank you for watching this video, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.